This is the most disturbing episode of Investigating Beware to date. Viewer discretion is advised, especially for those sensitive to gore. You have been warned. Hello, and welcome back to Investigating Beware. Today we're going to be looking at the Refinery, a spanning complex of pipes and machinery with a dark secret at its heart. When loading the map, you start on a road that will eventually connect to the mines in the final version of the game once all the pieces are joined together. Straight ahead of you is a large array of refineries with twisting maze-like roads running through them. Once ended, it is extremely easy to get lost with many dead ends and intersections looping back on themselves and the entire refinery forming a loop. You may notice a faint light emanating through the gaps in the machinery. Should you choose to drive towards it, you'll slowly find it to get brighter and brighter until eventually you come out into a clearing. Taking a look in no-clip, we can see that the light effect is actually a 2D object that rotates towards the camera at all times in a technique known as billboarding in game development. If we move the car, we can actually see that the light effect is affected by the player position and is in fact located at the midpoint between the player and the previously mentioned clearing in the refinery. The purpose of this is to lead the player towards the clearing so that they're not completely lost in the refinery and so that the game can actually progress. Should you follow the light, you'll come to a fenced off substation amidst the refineries featuring large pylons running cables overhead. A circular road surrounds the substation with a few entrances to the refinery and a single road leading in towards the substation. Heading down this road puts you face to face with a closed gate and two futuristic vehicles behind it. The vehicles will spring into life, turning on their headlights and front-facing lasers very similar to a variety of vehicles we've seen thus far in Beware, such as the party bus. Using no-clip, we can get a good look at the vehicles and see clearly just how futuristic they are. I first suspected that the goons on this map may be connected to the goons at the mines due to both areas being about a sort of power generation or industry, and the fact that the designs of these cars draw a lot of parallels to the trucks in the mines, hinting that perhaps they were manufactured or owned by the same organisation. Could this also be linked to the power company seen on the logo of the jackets the goons wear in the first map? While it's definitely a possibility given that the goons' business is clearly in power since they are protecting hydroelectric power plants in the first maps, what we've seen of the goons so far shows them to have no technology on par with what we've seen in the last two maps, especially given that they ride around in retro vehicles. This leads me to believe that this is not as simple as a good and bad, and with a third party involved in the affairs of the world in Beware, the picture may be more complicated than we thought. Returning to the vehicles of this map, they feature a large spike on an arm protruding from the top of the vehicle. Unlike the first area goons who aimed to derail your car and then get out and kill you on foot, and unlike the trucks in the mines who simply bump into you to try and kill you, these high-tech vehicles aim to block your car and then when in close range, stab at it with their spikes. This attack does an insane amount of damage, killing you in what seems to be 2 to 3 hits on average, so make sure to keep moving and be wary of them trying to slow you down so they can attack. To turn the power on, you have to hit a control box positioned behind the two cars. You can hit it with your own car, making it a lot easier to turn on than previous control boxes, which all required you pulling a lever. This means it's very easy to turn on the power without losing the enemies first, by simply circling around the substation, because you should have gained enough distance on the enemies to drive in on the next lap, crash into the control box and reverse out of the substation before they're able to spike you. After turning on the power, you'll notice orange lights all over the refinery light up and a new fog effect will appear in the sky, this time with an orange tint. Just like the first light effect, it is designed to always be between the player and a point of interest it is luring you towards. Should you drive towards it, you'll come across a hill scattered with hundreds of orange lampposts and a winding path going all the way up to the top. The enemies will actually stop chasing you if they are still in pursuit when you start the spiral climb up the hill, suggesting that they either don't want to stop you from seeing what's on top of the hill, something is forbidding them from getting to the top of the hill, or even that they do not want to for unknown reasons. Driving up the path to the top, you'll see a large flat plateau with a few items of interest. First, the engine upgrade and car repair spot seen in previous maps of the game, and next to it, a caravan returning from the mines. Just like the mines map, you can reverse into it slowly to attach it to the car, although, like the caravan in the mines, it seems to serve no purpose at the moment. Perhaps when the full map is released with all the areas connected, the caravans will play an important role in the story, possibly to do with the children in the earlier maps. On top of the hill, there is a brick wall with a large screen on it and some plastic chairs positioned in front, very similar to the news broadcast we've seen throughout the game so far. If you pull up to the side of the screen, text appears showing a film by Andrzej Svadlena before hard cutting to a short film. As a disclaimer, this short film is uploaded in full under the name MRDR Chain, pronounced Murder Chain, to the developer's channel called Soul Challenger. A link will be in the description. I implore you to watch it in full, either in-game or on his channel, as it is a great watch and I will not be showing the full thing, as well as spoiling parts of what happens. The short film was actually released in 2010 according to both YouTube and his IMDb page, though it wasn't uploaded to YouTube till July the 31st, 2019, despite Andre uploading to YouTube on his channel since as early as 2014. Given its age, it's fairly safe to say that it was not made with the story and content of Beware in mind. However, the reverse cannot be said. While Beware is devoid of fleshy leg balloons, meat tubes, and whatever the hell this is, certain architectural features do seem reminiscent of Beware's style. I still believe them to be unrelated. For starters, Murder Chain is presented in Beware as a short film, meaning it is fictional in the world of Beware. And outside of certain building designs, Beware is relatively grounded in reality, whereas the events of Murder Chain seem to be completely abstract and fictional. So is it a case of the developer wanting to show off his work, considering he's primarily a film director? Or is it a deeper rooted metaphor? Are the trials and tribulations of Slice Man a direct parallel to that of the faceless protagonist in Beware? I'm afraid it's all speculation at this point, but it does make for a very nice bonus for those who've completed this part of the game, as the atmosphere, visuals and sound design of this short fit the universe of Beware fantastically. While not an immense area of the game, with a lot of similar design, I think the Refinery is as intriguing as the others, and you can't help but wonder how it will all fit into the big picture. I'm not going to be creating a video for the next area, as I don't think there's much to talk about, and I have different ideas of what I want to do with the channel. While I may make one final video of Beware when the fully connected version of all the maps comes out, for now, take this as the final Beware video. I had some real difficulties with porting the walking and no-clip mods for this version of the game, with constant crashing and the game failing to load many times, so I'm going to hold off releasing them for now. If/when the developer releases the full version of the game, I may consider writing them from the ground up, but we'll have to wait and see. As for the direction of the channel, if you're interested in game dev or programming in general, then consider sticking around, as those are the kinds of videos I want to start creating. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, whatever it may be. Goodbye.